So good morning or good afternoon, depending on which side of the coast you are. I know some people are joining us on the West Coast for breakfast and on the East Coast for lunch, and we appreciate you guys being here. My name is Diana Maynard. I am the Director of Events at Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance. I've been at OCRA for just over 2 years now. My position, my favorite thing about my position is that I deal with people who have been impacted by ovarian cancer and other gynecologic cancers, and I'm assuming that's why most of you are here today. But I hear from people who have been impacted and want to take that passion or that pain and turn it into purpose by supporting our organization. So really what the purpose of this webinar is just to share a few ideas and ways that you can get involved either by hosting your own fundraiser or joining one of our existing efforts. It's going to be a lot of information, but again, this meeting is being recorded. We're going to share it out with everyone afterwards, along with some information and some toolkits. I'm going to go over a lot, but if you have a question at any time, please add it to the chat box. And then my colleague, Nikki, is joining us today, and she'll help us get through those questions at the end. So we affectionately refer to those who fundraise for our organization as OCRA heroes. They make a difference in the fight by raising not just funds, but awareness. And as you all know, the awareness piece is just as, if not more important than the fundraising. We can't fund our research initiatives. We can't advocate on the Hill. We can't provide patient support without funds raised by our community. And so we appreciate if you've done a fundraiser for us. If you're looking to do something, we're just so grateful. These are the initiatives that we're going to discuss today, but a recurring theme is that the possibilities are endless. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. If you can think of it, you can do it. And I'll give you some examples of some unique fundraisers that people have put on just to give you some ideas and inspiration. But we're going to start with fitness events. Then we'll talk about endurance initiatives, DIY fundraisers, fundraising web pages, and then we'll talk through our Facebook challenges as well. So our first category is fitness events. You may have seen on our website or social media information about ovarian fitness or ovarian cycle events. And these are organized fundraisers that occur in gym facilities across the country. They're volunteer led, but this type of event is most heavily supported by OCRA. So while the volunteers in the community take the lead, we do provide a ton of back end support so that no one is going it alone. Any given year, we have between 10 and 12, some years it's more, some years it's less, of these events that are hosted in local communities. But you can see as of 2023, over 2,200 people have participated in these events, raising over $7.5 million for our mission, which is incredible. I included some steps just to give you an idea of how these events come about. There can be more, there can be less, and there is a toolkit that you'll get that has a lot more robust information on exactly how these events come about. But I just wanted to give everyone an idea, because I think sometimes people see us promote these events or see a Facebook post about an event. Maybe they think like, oh, I can do that, but they think it's a huge undertaking. So I just want to sort of let everyone know what we provide, what our volunteers do, and hopefully that might inspire you to want to host something at your own local gym. And again, typically this is cycling, but we've had people do yoga, boot camp, self-defense classes. So really it's whatever is happening in your community and whatever activity people like to undertake. The first step is to form a committee, and I put that this is optional. We have some events that are a committee of one. In fact, most of our events are a committee of one. We have several events that have 2 to 3 people. A lot of people see the word committee and they immediately feel intimidated because they think that means meetings and minutes and things like that. But really it's just a group or an individual who are committed to putting together all the pieces of the puzzle for the event. I always suggest that you at least have a close friend or a family member that are going to help, because it could be a lot, even just, setting up that day or stuffing the gift bags, but we do have people that do it as a team of one, and that's great too. The next step would be to select a venue and a date. And of course, we leave that to our volunteers' discretion. The majority of our events, we find they happen in September in honor of Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, but they can happen year round. As you know, people receive diagnosis all year round. It's not limited to just September. And while there is a lot of awareness and a spotlight on ovarian cancer that month, it can happen anytime. We actually have an event coming up at the end of June. Fundraising goal. So that's really individually based on your community, and it can vary. We have events with a goal of $2,500. We have events with a goal of $30,000, and really it's whatever you're comfortable with, and we allow our volunteers to determine that amount, and then we support them and we help them reach that goal. For recruitment and marketing, that's where OCRA will really lend a hand. We'll create marketing materials, print them and ship them to our volunteers. We'll also create email blasts that go out to people in our email community that may live within a certain radius of where you're located. So that's something that OCRA takes on, which our chairs and volunteers find very helpful. Our local volunteers really take the charge in securing sponsors and in-kind donations. And again, I know when people hear the word sponsors and donations, they immediately might clam up, but these sponsorships can start at $100. They could be something as simple as donating a raffle basket and then everything in between. So we'll provide a sponsor deck and all of the information that you need to be able to make those asks, and even helping you craft your letter and your ask and sharing your personal story. Will provide, tools and resources to help you do that as well. In terms of hosting the event, we'll provide you with registration reports so you know who's coming. That'll include everything from people's names and emails to how much money they've raised for the cause, shirt sizes so that we can order shirts for them, because we also do provide all of the materials that are handed out at the event. So any gift bag items, we have a fulfillment center that we utilize. So we'll send out bags, bracelets, balloons, whatever we have in our inventory, including marketing materials, which again goes back to the awareness piece, so that everybody leaves the event feeling not just uplifted, but also educated in terms of their risk and information about our organization. These events, as I said, are considered OCRA signature events. So there is more support that we provide. And every event looks a little bit different. We have some events that have multiple classes. We have some events that are a single class, and we provide the same level of support regardless. And so if that's something you're interested in, we'll follow up this presentation with a link that you can submit a form. And I'd be happy to talk through it with in more detail with anyone who's interested. The next opportunity is an endurance initiative. So we've had a lot of people, especially I would say in the last year, who are undertaking some type of endurance activity, and they want to also support OCRA at the same time. And these have been things that are pretty typical, although I know I'm not running a marathon anytime soon, but your typical walk, run, race, bike ride. But we've also had some unique events like the 4x4x48 challenge, which is running 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. We've had quite a few groups do that for us. We had somebody do a skydive fundraiser in honor of their sister. And we also had someone do a boxing match, like a real boxing match in a boxing ring with an audience, and he raised funds for OCRA. Typically for these type of events, participants register for a pre-existing event. So someone would have to qualify for a race if it's a race that you need to qualify for, like the Boston Marathon or the New York City Marathon. They would pre-register on their own, and then they would set up a fundraising page through OCRA's website. I know we frequently hear from people asking if we have charity bibs, because you can, for some organizations, run as part of their team and they have bibs available. We do not currently have a relationship with events that provide charity bibs. It's something we're always looking into, but at this time we don't. So our suggestion is always find a race local that you think you could register for on your own, and then create a fundraising page through OCRA's website, which I think when we get to DIY, the link will be there, but that would be how you would register for these types of events. DIY fundraisers, we call them a catch-all, but really they're my favorite category because this is where people's creativity really shines. It's really just any other type of event that maybe isn't a fitness event or isn't an endurance event. And that can be a golf tournament, a gala. We have people, the creativity of people continues to astound me. I had a call with someone last week that when she was in treatment had the idea that she wanted to do an ice cream run. So she talked to her nurses when she was in treatment and said, when I get out, I want to do an ice cream run. I want to get 6 local ice cream shops and they'll give out scoops to everyone that day. And so that's my type of event more than a regular run. But I just thought that that was so creative, and she's planning that for September, which is amazing. But anything that you can think of, we can help support you. Yesterday, I spoke to someone who wanted to do a fundraiser through his local car club. And I said, that's no problem. We can set up a website on our page. People can register, they can fundraise. And he was blown away that we had that capability. Now, that's not something unique that OCRA has, but not a lot of people know about it. So we certainly have the tools and the resources to help people get their fundraisers off the ground. The good news about DIY fundraisers is that because it's you doing something that you either already do or that you already love to do, it's easy. So we have people who do concert nights at their local watering hole, and they go there anyway, and they listen to the music, and they have friends in the band. And so they just sort of turn that into an awareness night and fundraiser. It's customizable. So again, it's what you and your community care about. You can do it at a time that works for you. I would say that out of all of the categories, these type of fundraisers are more likely to fall outside of September, just because, you know, golf tournaments typically ramp up between May and September. So they happen throughout the summer for the most part. Obviously, there's a lot of value in hosting a fundraiser for us because it helps us fuel our mission. Last year, these types of fundraisers raised over 1.3 million for OCRA. And so I know a lot of times I hear from people, I don't know how much money this is going to raise, you know, maybe it'll raise $250. And that's all wonderful because these small initiatives make a big impact and no gift is too small. Fundraising pages. So I know I mentioned it a couple of times, and that diy.ocrahope.org is the website that you would use if you wanted to start a fundraising page. This is just a really straightforward way for people to raise funds for our mission. If you don't want to do it through social media, which we'll discuss in the next slide. This is something that would be set up through our website. An example is on your screen, the Join Me in Raising Funds for Ovarian Cancer. That's what the pages look like. There you're able to add a photo. This person used an illustration, but you'd be able to add your own photo if that was something that you wanted to do, and a brief story about why you're raising funds. You'd be able to set a fundraising goal. And then once the page is up and running, you'd get your own customizable link or a QR code that you can download that you can share with people. We have people create these types of pages to celebrate a milestone. I've had people create them to mark being a year post-diagnosis, to celebrate survivorship, to honor a nurse or a doctor that maybe helped them in their journey, to celebrate an anniversary, a birthday. But really, or for no reason, just because they want to support our mission. So if anyone's interested in doing that, that's probably, it probably doesn't get much easier if you want to support us in some way. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Facebook challenges. So if you're on Facebook, you may have seen us advertise these, or you may have seen ads just sort of freestanding as you are scrolling through. Twice a year, OCRA hosts these Facebook challenges. We do them in partnership with a third-party vendor. The next one is during September, which is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and it'll be a 60-mile challenge. So people who are interested join a Facebook group of all of the other people who will be participating. They commit to either walking or running 60 miles throughout the month, and also fundraising to support OCRA at the same time. The group ends up being very communal. People get to know each other. People post photos of their progress. People are cheering each other on. It's really a nice way to meet other people, but also support our mission at the same time. And again, it's really a great way during the month of September for us to raise awareness, because the more people who participate, the more people who are posting, the more people who are sharing our images and our graphics about the work that we do, the better. And then, of course, you can create a Facebook fundraiser anytime. If you go to our Facebook page, there's an about section, and there's a link there that will allow you to create one for your birthday or anytime, and that includes Instagram as well. I know I just threw a lot of information out there at everyone, but I don't know if there were any questions that came in, but I'm happy to take this opportunity to answer any questions that anyone might have. I know there's some familiar faces of people in the meeting that maybe have fundraised for us. I don't know if they have information that they would like to share with the group, but happy to open it up at this time to anything. I don't know, Nikki, if anything came in.
No, not yet. Just thank you very much, Diana. That was really great. One thing I'd like to add, we know that this can be daunting. Fundraising doesn't necessarily come naturally to people, especially if you are at a heightened sense of, emotional impact, whether you yourself has been diagnosed or somebody close to you. It can be very overwhelming. What we try and do is make it not overwhelming. Like, out of all the things for you that's on your plate and in your mind, like this, we don't want this to be hard. If it's hard, that means it's not meant for you to do that. Maybe there's a different way to raise awareness and funds. So if you want to do something, but you just don't know how to get started or what to do it, just reach out to us. We're happy to walk through some things, talk through things, share other ideas. We can even connect you with other participants who have done something, just so you can hear it from a peer about their experience. But we fully recognize that fundraising does not necessarily come naturally, and that can be a little nerve-wracking to put something together or ask people for money. So there are multiple ways to do this. It's just a matter of when you're ready to do it and how comfortable and how involved you want it to be. One question came in from Susan. Can you help us with creating content for an Instagram fundraiser? Help create reels, or teach us how to do that. I want to do that as part of my fundraiser, but I've not created reels yet.
Yes. So if not me, then our social media guru, Erin, can certainly help. I know I'm pretty well versed at creating static content. The reels is where it kind of falls apart for me, but Erin can definitely help. And she's happy to help, just so everyone knows, like, if anyone's interested in that, I know Erin does a presentation for our advocate leaders that kind of goes through the steps and what makes good content and how to create that as well. So if that would be helpful for maybe our existing fundraisers, we can certainly look into putting something together.
Jancy, wow, congratulations. She completed a 5-mile swim for American Cancer Society recently and would love to do that for us. As Diana mentioned earlier on with endurance, we don't have them set up, but if this is something you want to do and raise awareness and funding for OCRA, we're happy to support you with that. But that's, congratulations. That's amazing. I think that's it for the questions.
I also wanted, oh, Susan, hi.
Susan?
I'll just jump in with a question. So yeah, I was asking about Instagram because I haven't done any reels or anything like that. But if there's like a content library, maybe because I think this would help other people too. I'm trying to come up with challenges. So I'll do mine. It's actually going to be in October, I think. And I'll do like 4 weeks of different challenges. It's kind of what I've got in my head. This will be my first virtual one in 4 years. But if we had a library of content so that we're not always putting the same thing out there. I mean, I'd like to start the month with maybe posting like the quiz that you all had out there a year or 2 ago, but then posting every couple of days throughout the month, and just have good, nice clean graphics and good content that may link to more information. That would be really helpful for me to be able to keep up with it for a month. without me having to generate all the content. But I would like to create my own reels of things that I'm doing or friends are doing during the month and ask people to post their own. But that's just kind of an idea I have, doing it through Instagram.
I know during Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, we put together a social media toolkit, but I like the idea of having just a general one as well for people that has the information that we are already posting, but just maybe all together, like a library, like you're suggesting.
Yeah.
We can certainly pull, I know even for this presentation, I pulled some of those graphics that you saw with the quotes from our social media pages. So this is all sort of repurposed information, but we can certainly put a toolkit together because I know we've done it for other things. So that shouldn't be a heavy lift for the team.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
No problem. I also wanted to share about existing events. So as I mentioned, we do have some existing events. Susan's is a good example of a virtual event that's going to be coming up in October, but all of our events that are confirmed are added to our website calendar. So if you're ever looking to see if there's something in your local area or even something virtually happening, our Facebook challenges and such are typically listed there once the dates are ironed out. But that's also a good resource if maybe you're looking to get involved but would prefer to attend an existing event just to get a feel for it.
And you just answered Alan's question. So, and when we send this recording out, we'll include some links from our website that would be helpful, including the calendar. And then I just want to get back to Jancy. I misunderstood her question before. So Jancy, what you are explaining sounds more like our Facebook challenge, which is, we have one coming up in September, like Diana said, the 60 miles, and you can do any sort of fitness activity that you want to reach that 60 miles, and you can take the entire month to do it. So that would be about the equivalent. I hope that addresses what you were asking.
I have one other question.
Sure.
Since I'm going to be switching to a virtual event, I was wondering about, instead of getting some of the swag like the t-shirts and some of those things, maybe getting some informational, like a postcard or something that has information. But also I'll probably look, there's a couple of our local sponsors that have given me gift certificates in the past. Athleta's been really good at that. So I could get a coupon from them that could be used anywhere, so that anybody who's contributing, I can send that to them to thank them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you all would have that you could supply us that could go in a physical thank you note that we send to our donors?
We do have a few things, Susan. Like I know we have the stickers, and we have, rubber wristbands that probably could be mailable, but we can also discuss other things that maybe we could potentially order and add to our inventory that would help not only you, but others. So, because I know we are always conscious of being able to mail things out to people in an easy way.
Yeah, and I'll probably have my friend, she always designs me a sticker for it. So I'll do that again.
Yeah.
Keep adding them to my water bottle.
We'd love to see it.
Diana, there are no other questions in the chat at the moment.
Okay. I mean, I'll give everybody one final minute to add any questions that they might have, but I also did want to mention that fundraising is obviously not the only way that you can get involved with our organization. We have I know someone had reached out prior to the presentation and mentioned that they were in Seattle and looking to get involved. And we do have volunteer opportunities that take place nationwide. We have our Advocate Leaders program. Obviously, if you're someone who has had an ovarian or other gynecologic cancer diagnosis, we have our Woman to Woman program, which actually has expanded to include spouses and loved ones. We have our STS program, Survivors Teaching Students program. So if you're interested in any of those opportunities, just as a way to begin to get involved, we'd be happy. We'll share that information out in the email and the follow-up email as well. But those are also opportunities for you to make an impact.
Sherry, how do you become a community partner? We have an application online that the organization would complete, and we would receive it, review it, and then open up the conversation. I'm happy to include that link within the information that's being sent out.
I just wanted to include this slide because if you have any immediate questions or you don't want to wait to receive the follow-up information, you could reach out to events@ocrahope.org and I'll get back to you.
Great.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
I hope that you found this information helpful. I'm sure there are some questions that you might have either now that you don't want to ask or maybe later that come up as you're reviewing the information. And as Nikki said, we're here to help and we're here to help you reach your goals and make your lives easier. So anything that you think of that you want to brainstorm, discuss further, or just ask us to lend a helping hand, we're here. All right. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.